In this video, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the math around relationships. It wasn't too long ago, I was sitting in my boss at the time's office and she took a call. And of course, I'm trying to look important and busy, so I'm going through Facebook. And I'm scrolling through Facebook and I saw that someone's dad died and I put the sad face. And then I kept scrolling and I saw that someone had a baby and I hit the hearts and I paused and I thought, what is wrong with me? Like, what has Facebook done to friends where the appropriate action is just a sad face with no exchange of emotion? And then I move into the hearts on somebody who just had a baby. And I was like, how did this happen? And so I started to study. I'm like, how many relationships can you really have? And through my research and everything, this people way smarter than me said, you can only manage about 120 real relationships. And I said, well, that makes sense. And so I started to look at the math around this and I realized about 120 relationships. So when I was doing this formula, I was working with a lot of real estate agents and I found the ultimate highest revenue formula was 36 deals a year. So I started thinking, well, if you have 36 A relationships, there's a good chance that they can either buy a home through you or end up referring someone that would end up using you. And if you just truly took care of those key relationships, they take care of you. Zig Ziglar said, help enough people get what they want, you'll have everything that you want. So then I looked at that. I did 120 minus 36, which was about 100. And so I threw in the number 96. Why? All my pricing, everything that I do ends in 96. And 96 is the opposite of 69. And I'm a little bit immature. It makes me laugh. So when we look at this, we've got our A's and we've got our B's. So we've got 36 A's, 96 B's. Now that's a benchmark. So what I'm going to ask that you do is look at your next pillar post that you're going to. And a pillar post is that next goal. See, oftentimes what we do is we overshoot our goals because we're thinking too big. See, when we're on a journey, what we have to do is we have to identify that next spot that we're going to and focus on that spot. Because when we get to that next pillar post, what we'll do is we'll pause, which we'll talk about in another video. We'll pause and we'll assess where we're at. So what we do is we look at our current relationships that are A's. We look at our current relationships that are B's. And in those relationships, there should be enough activity in order for you to reach your business goals. See, the challenge is what most people do is they treat their C's and D's like A's and B's. Therefore, their A's and B's never really reciprocate what they could if we actually treated them like relationships. So one of the things that we've worked on is creating standards and principles on how we respond to A's. For example, whenever a life event is happening for my A's, I get into action. I remember one of my A's had a natural disaster happen in their area. And I reached out to her and I said, hey, I'm going to check with Sarah yet. Why don't you move in with us? See, where you're at, the real estate world isn't going to recover anytime fast. You can move in with us. I'll help you get your coaching business off the ground. And it's a great chance of starting over. See, now you can't do that with everyone. You can't get into action when you have a C or a D, have a life event happen. It's just not sustainable. I mean, in fact, with the exchange of information that goes on Facebook, with all the bad news that goes on, you'd probably be in the fetal position in the corner if you felt everything that happened. So your A's, one of the standards is you get into action when something happens. Another standard that I have for my A's is they've got to be a great husband and a great father. See, these are values that are important to me. And I know for me, it's not natural for me to be a great father. I'm an alpha male that goes out there and gets it done. Playing with a 6-year-old with dolls isn't natural to me. So I need to make sure that I put myself in a position where I can win at that. So by surrounding myself with other good husbands and other good fathers, it's going to inspire me to be better. Next thing, profit and loss. Budgets, knowing your numbers. See, for many years, I was trying to out-earn stupid and my financial IQ was low. So my answer was, well, I'll just make more. See, I had the ability to make more money, yet the more money I made, I didn't necessarily feel any more free. So another standard and principle that I have for my A's is we're going to be able to talk finances. we've heard this before. You are the sum of the people that you surround yourself with. So in order to spend time with me, which is another requirement for A's, because A's require time on task, relationships require time, is that I'm going to be spending time with them. So if you're looking at a way to discover your A's, one thing that you might do is look at your phone. Who have you been talking to? Look at your Facebook. Who have you been spending time with? Look at your calendar. Who are you surrounding yourself with? See, many of us are due for an upgrade in our relationships and who we're spending time with. In our next video, what we're going to talk about is the light switch technique. See, we got to be careful where we're putting energy to. Just like when you walk out of a room, you turn the light switch off and you stop giving energy to it. What we're going to do is we're going to show you a mathematical formula on how to turn the light switch off of some relationships for the season. See, I believe that we have seasons in our life where we're going to have certain relationships. Just like when I was in high school, when I went to play hockey, I needed different relationships when I played hockey. And then when I got done playing hockey and I moved home and I started buying investment properties, the relationships that I had for the 3 years when I was playing junior hockey were now different as I was building my real estate empire. So anyways, if you found this helpful, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and we'll talk more about how to start to narrow down your A list.